No. Oh, you're saying Sandy. Yep, Sandy's in Australia. Throwing another shrimp on the barbie. They do that every day, I think, in my mind. They throw shrimps on the barbie and they drink Foster's Australian for beer. I know my accent's terrible, Sandy. She's shaking her head. I can do British. I can't do Australian. It's not good. And the recording has started. So officially, good morning. Welcome to the Market Watch Group Midweek Check-In. I'm Scott. I'm your host. Here's the disclaimers. Not brokers, not advisors. Don't give advice. Don't give recommendations. This is for education and illustrative purposes only. Today's agenda, opening analysis, what's going on relative to yesterday. If you came, we processed it. Yeah, same thing, right? We processed it yesterday. No one's happy. No one's like, oh, this is amazing. But we're like, is the sky falling? No, we don't think the sky is falling. We'll revisit the posture. That'll be interesting. And these next couple of days, because already we did get a negative volume day yesterday. That was it, though. We didn't break support. We didn't nothing untoward. Ooh, VIX. Yes, Bob is right. The VIX jumped. So actually, he's right. So we're going to have a ding as of now. Now it's only Tuesday. So if we get another volume that's positive, any one of the next 3 days, then it would offset and our volume score would remain unchanged. So it could still be offset. But as of now, negative ding for volume. The sellers definitely pop their heads up and are like, hello, we're back. We hadn't seen them for a while. Okay, so are they back for a day? Is it just one day? We can handle just one day. Tuesday? Wednesday. Oh, am I messing up my days because of Labor Day? I'm sorry if I do that. It's my bad. So we'll revisit the posture a little bit. Mindset for open trades. We've got a couple on. A hiccup is not going to shake me out of the trade. We'll talk about that. We talked about the scenarios today, especially on the open and in the morning, giving it a little bit of leeway. We'll take a look at our list and see how we like things. There's setups. I mean, that's the other thing. How can we be panicking if our watch list is full of setups? Like if you didn't know anything else and we just were showing symbols and looking at stocks, and I'm like, oh, that looks bullish, that looks bullish, that looks... You'd be like, oh, I think we might drop. You're like, what do you mean? There's all these bullish signals. Trading plan progress. Oh, we forgot to talk about it. So I'm going to make sure we do that on my half tomorrow in the evening foundation session. We're going to talk about the trading plan specifically. Okay, let's get to it. Here's the futures. 8 minutes before the market opens. And we said there's definitely a good chance that we see whatever this follows into next. Why do we say that? Well, look, it was a big range day. I'm on the futures. We'll look at the SPY too. There's obviously a high degree of correlation. Long range day and increased volume. That's all it takes. Those two things. Long range day, increased volume. With that happening, we have to pay the call or pay attention and say, what does tomorrow bring? Does tomorrow bring stability? Does tomorrow bring increased selling? Waning selling? Right? So let's start looking at a few possibilities. Where's my drawing tool? So scenario number 1, heavy selling. Another big day, heavy volume, right? Scenario number 1. Scenario number 2, waning selling. So maybe it comes like this. There's a shadow. Maybe there's a little longer shadow, and the volume is average. So it's not, right? Even if we saw scenario number 2, I'd be thinking to myself, okay, that's not that bad, right? We're okay with this. Why would I say that? Well, again, this is our new high coming out of this heavy, deep V reversal, right? So this is our last low, theoretically. That's our last low. And if you look back and you say, well, let's find... Remember, when we talk about the concept of support and resistance, there's two key words that will help you in identifying those levels. Number one, recency. Number two, frequency. Recency and frequency. So we look backwards and we say, can I find a level that might be important? Oh, well, there's this right here. What if I draw this line across? Oh, look at that. So yeah, I would have no problem with that whatsoever. It coincides. In fact, you'll notice we talked about this type of a pattern where it come down and then up and then down and then up and then down. And then anyone want to tell me what they see in that scenario now? A pattern? I know you guys love when I do pop quizzes. This is a tough one because you're going to maybe take a stab at it without putting the identifier. Whoa, what just happened? Whoa, did anybody else just get bounced around in the world and universe of Discord? I just got shook around a little bit. I'm a little dizzy, but I'm back. Miguel did exactly what I thought. And he put the right terminology, but didn't have the initial identifier, which would be inverted. Miguel, he's standing on his head. That's the difference. Same pattern. But an inverted head and shoulders then is looking upside down to the other direction versus a standard head and shoulders is going to be more like this, which means we're looking for it to come to the downside. With this one, breaking the neckline would be looking for a move to the upside. So scenario number 2, even though it's more selling, is like, hey, that's actually just fine. I don't look at that as like, wow, that's terrible for us. Scenario number 3 is equilibrium today. A doji, some sort of a doji day, whether there's a longer shadow either direction or not. Scenario number 3 is a doji, which is indecision. But indecision after a selling day isn't actually indecision at all. It's the lack of decision that was there yesterday, meaning the sellers are already starting to wane. Yeah? Scenario number... I hope you're remembering all these because we're taking a vote. we're taking a vote after this. So, sorry. I've learned all these little tricks to speed things up whenever I have little hiccups. Although, for some reason, when I shut that program down, it did not erase the drawings, which is interesting. Oh, there we go. Maybe my trick wasn't as good as I thought. What is going on? Close the program. Ooh, well, that was crazy. I guess my trick wasn't as good as I thought. Okay, we're back. Scenario number 4. Scenario number 4 would be buyers today. So we would start down, and if we see a little bit of buyers, we would say that's scenario number 4, slight buying pressure. Scenario number 5 would be a tweezer hold. Tweezer hold. That's a candlestick formation. That's actually quite significant, where we have a big down day immediately followed by a big up day, or vice versa. Let me show you an example of what a tweezer hold can do to the downside. Whoa, right there. That's the opposite, right? It was like a big up day, and then it opened, and then a big down day, and then boom, boom, right? So you can see that's significant. That could be significant. 1 through 5. Real quickly, start throwing your answer on there. 1 through 5. 1 is the selling end of things. 5 is the buying end of things. What are we going to see today? That's the question, right? Now, hopefully that just kind of has you thinking, because that's the sort of thing we should be doing every day. Let's be thinking about what are the what ifs. What if, and what am I going to do about it? What if, what am I going to do about it? And I want you to notice already just the first 3 answers. Michael's like selling. Wilbur's like, here come the buyers. Sandy's like, not going to be either. So, yeah, a good distribution. Dan says more selling. Bob puts it in the middle. Bob and Dan. I'm going to be a little bit, look at Sam and Billy Ray. We got some bulls. If you ask me, I'm going to say I'm a 2.5. I'm a 2.5. And you're like, wait, you didn't tell us you could use decimals. I didn't say you couldn't use decimals either, though, did I? 2.5. I mean, yeah, it's in fact what it looks like now. I could see that ending the day. Almost 3 bucks. I was like, I'm a 2.7211. However, you remember what I said about what we were going to do today in the morning. We wanted to watch to understand, are the sellers still there and at the same level? So one of the things we did last night was we came in here and we did a little bit of analysis on this volume. This volume that even here you can see this. And what I'm looking at, what I'm isolating here, you guys, is this. I have 5 days here, and I'm looking at just that first little bit. And you can see how clearly that had more than the rest of those, right? We don't even have to look at the numbers. Just visually, you can see that happening. Then we're saying to ourselves, we want to understand the first half hour of today. By the time we look to wrap up close to the top of the hour. But already, to me, I'm thinking, I already don't think it's the same simply because we're down 0.25%. The reason we looked at this volume was only if it was actually down like 1/2 or 3/4. And we're like, hey, if it's down 1/2 or 3/4, what would that do to trades we're in now or trades that you're in now? What would it do? It would stretch you. It would put a little stress on you. And we want to know, do we bend or do we break? I don't want to break. I want to know that it's okay, that I'm not going to get shook. We actually, if you weren't there last night, we actually went in and let me go back to let's switch over to the SPYs now. And we said, look at it. It looks fine. We're right there, right? But we said, what if it comes down to here, then comes back up, then does this? That's a hammer pattern. Now, where do we tend to see hammers? At support levels, and then take off. And you stopped out of a trade right there. That's the kind of thing that makes you yank your hair out, right? And you're like, oh, what have I done? Yeah, what have you done? Don't do that. It's like the old joke. The guy says, "Doctor, it hurts when I do this," and the doctor says, "Well, don't do that." So yeah, we just wanted to talk through it last night so that we could be ready for today. If it ventured into this territory with selling, but it hasn't. So it's like, hey, I feel like we are okay, right? We're not like giddy, but we're thinking to ourselves, great, let's manage our trades. Our trade should be holding up, stabilizing. Let me know. Does that make sense? And I love it. Miguel, it's a great call out. He said, we've just hit the 78.6 fib. That's a bullish fib. Anything above 50 is bullish, but that's a bullish fib. If you don't know what he's talking about, I'm not going to draw the whole thing now, but it's basically this retracement. That's the halfway point, right? So you've got this one, this one, this one, this one. That's why their magic is everyone's like, oh, it's going to hit a fib. Well, yeah. I mean, if you put that many points, of course, it's going to seem like it's stopping at one of them, right? I do like fibs sometimes. I'm just not. Some people over exaggerate their efficacy. Okay, so yeah, this is a good start. We're 5 minutes in. We don't make assumptions 5 minutes in, right? So let's take a pause. Let's go talk about what else is going on. What investors are getting wrong about the VIX. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm interested in that. And I'm telling you, I don't understand why there's so people make this more complicated than it is. Because even in here, it's not a fear gauge. It plays one on TV. I don't even know what that means. Here's the deal about the VIX. It is a fear indicator. It doesn't measure fear. The VIX doesn't measure fear. We have to analyze the VIX, understanding that its implications are representative of fear. I don't know why someone doesn't just put that sentence out there. That's it in a nutshell, right? And the reason is why. Why does that occur? And it's because of what the VIX measures fear on, and that is S&P and S&P 500 index options, right? SPX, S&P 500 index options. Why is that important? Because here's the premise that leads to this being such an important indicator for us. And there's a lot of people here, so I'm glad. The S&P 500 is the most benchmarked index, which means that as you look at institutional funds, more of them benchmark to that index than any other because it's the broad market index. Now, that's important because all institutions have the capacity and ability to hedge using options. If you go read a prospectus on a mutual fund, Fidelity, Janus, Global, White Oak, Franklin Templeton, whatever. I don't even know all the names these days. But if you ever read a prospectus, you probably never have. And I understand why. But in there, they talk about what they can and can't do. How much cash can they have? What can they invest in? But right, all the different things that dictate. They can't just do whatever they want. And with options, they can usually trade options, but not speculatively. Only for one purpose, and that is to hedge. That's it. They can hedge. Why would an institution hedge? Because they're worried it's going to go down. Oh, that sounds like they're describing just a little bit of what? Fear. It's institutional fear. Because when institutions enter the options market, they change the dynamic. Yeah, they step heavy. An institution is not going to come by 6 or 7 contracts. They're hedging 20, 30, 40 billion dollar funds. They're going to buy, right, large numbers of contracts. That whole premise is what leads to this didn't come out of nowhere. We saw it start happening here when it first broke this consolidation, here when it gave us a higher low, and here when it gave us another higher low. It was escalating into that. That's what I mean when I say to you, it's not like, oh my God, it came out of nowhere. It didn't. Do you want to know if it did the same thing before the pandemic? Like, oh my God, it just crashed. It didn't. It did exactly that exact same thing. So if you want to know, hey, Scott, did the posture, did running the market posture give you an indication of what was happening during the pandemic? Now, are you saying, hey, Scott, did you ride puts down because it fell? I rode some puts for a little bit, and then I got out because I that's what you do. And then the thing just went haywire. And mostly I just watched because it was going, it was lock and limit down 5% lock. And then all of a sudden, right, we were seeing some just outrageous things. It was crazy. But even then, did the posture do its job? Yeah, it got me on the sidelines. This is watching. Like, I made a little money on the first drop, and then it's like, what's going on here? It doesn't come out of nowhere. So right now, we are concerned. It dropped down. It did this. This is the first escalation. Just like this was the first escalation out of this lull. It lulls sometimes. And what we try to do is make sure we never get too complacent. So that's the first thing it did. And it is hitting a higher high. So, our VIX score as of now. But we also know that it can come back down quickly. So there are also times, if you look back here, where it can pop up and then all of a sudden, boom, it's right back down, and then a great trading time. So, yeah, do we want to clutch our pearls? No. But do we want to, recognize that there's some concern and that the institutions have come in with some hedging? Yes, we have to. But we're not, it's not terrible yet. What's the worst thing that would happen? If this comes back down, and it does not get back to this level, and it turns, that as that happens, we will be hedging, period. Unequivocally. That will trigger a hedge. Real quickly, I just want to go back. Questions about the VIX? I really don't think it's that mysterious. You just have to lay out the case. It has to all connect and make sense. And I think when you talk about it that way and you understand why it's significant to us, then I think it carries more meaning. Let's go back 2 years. Why? Because it's September. And if you go back here, guess what happened back here? Oh, same kind of a thing. Where it popped up and it was elevated and it came down and then it popped up again. Then it died out. And so we don't know yet. We could definitely see this thing come down and pop up again. Do I think it's going to come anywhere near any of this? No, I don't. Maybe it, if things got bad again, but I actually wouldn't expect it to go beyond, I'd say, that level. We're here now, so I would say that's probably the concern: is do we retest 30 again, and then see that same kind of a double top type thing right there? Yeah, okay. We have a sense of what we want to see, what we're looking for. What's the VIX doing now? It's pulling back. We're now 13 minutes in. Let's go check our opening range, and then we'll go look at our trades, and then we'll look at the watch list. Added some new things last night. We did some searching. Oh, and there's some. Right now it's looking like number 4. Did anybody say number 4? Right now the 4s are in the lead. So it's the buyers are already like, hey, we're gonna try to come back into this thing. Great, we'd love to see that. Why? Because we have plenty of opportunities on our opportunity list. Okay, so let's get to that. How are your trades holding up? How are you feeling about everything today? Let's talk about it. Apple setting up. Apple bouncing off the 50 would be amazing. I think Apple is absolutely in a setup position. Aflac is new. We added Aflac as an insurer from our search through the financials yesterday. Amazon, we don't love it. We don't love it. We had a great early start to this trade, and now it's just kind of hiccuping. I'm going to let it hiccup. You know, we know the deal with hiccups. We love the thought that it would just take off, but I'm okay with this based on market conditions. AXP flagging financials is where we have six. I mean, look at this. If you didn't know anything else, if all I did was bring this chart to you, I said, what do you see? Well, I see it just made a higher high and it's starting to pull back. That's about all you really need to see to think. Remember, our core philosophy boils down to one sentence. Find a bull market, buy the dips. Find a bull market, buy the dips. That's it. That's the simplest, easiest methodology to follow in all of trading. Bank of America looks good. Steven's probably still pushing a little on this one. It's just grinding. If time's against you, it gets to a point where you're like, what am I going to do with it? But if time's for you, even better. BK, Bank of New York Mellon. New. It's a regional. Nice trend. It's not a signal per se, right? Bob too, Bank of America. Nice. BLDR. I liked it here. It couldn't muster the signal. I want you to remember, we were watching it. We're like, okay, if it gives us the signal, it didn't. Now what? Now we're thinking the same thing. If it stabilizes and bounces off the 50, still viable. Old resistance, right through here, new support where we're at, sitting on top of the 50, stochastics, oversold. I don't see any problem with that. Citigroup pulling back. Citi's a little questionable for me. I don't know. I'm iffy on Citi, to be honest. I'm thinking of kicking it. Carrier. This is a new one for our industrials. What do you think? And it actually makes sense because not this summer, but last summer, I had to replace two AC units and HVAC at the same time. And they are Carriers, it turns out. It was not cheap. So I kind of feel like Carrier owes me some money. I don't know. Do you guys agree? Like, I feel like Carrier should somehow contribute back to the cause of making sure that I stay cool in the summers. And so I really feel good about adding this one to the watch list. And it's setting up as we speak. New high, pulling back. Ugh, the stars are aligned for that one. I'm iffy on Caterpillar. Miguel agrees. Yes. Thank you, Miguel. I just needed a little validation on that one. You know what I mean? I would say that's quasi-revenge trading, Sam. Quasi-revenge trading. And are you asking if I'm okay with revenge trading? And my answer is absolutely yes. 100%. It's like pattern day trading. They give you 3 per week. I'm going to give you 3 per year. You get 3 revenge trades per year. No questions asked. Just because. And then after that, then we can talk about, like, is it too much? Is it too much revenge? I don't know. I'm not saying we would decide that. We just should have the conversation. Caterpillar. I don't know. I'm iffy, but I'm going to keep it. It does still kind of look like that whole cup and handle, inverted head and shoulders, deep V, all these things that we keep throwing out there. Maybe. I mean, I tend to watch Caterpillar all the time just as a representation of industrials, right? I always want to have at least a couple from every group on the list to just provide perspective. Cap says the world ain't fair, neither are the markets. They're not fair and they don't make sense. That's one I can't tell you how many times people be like, this doesn't make sense. I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. Were you under the impression that the markets are supposed to make sense? Because, oh, goodness. Cummins, I think we looked at them yesterday. I thought they showed up. Cummins does look good. Did we not put them on? Maybe I do like Cummins. Maybe it was volume. I don't know what was going on back here. What is going on with the volume on this chart here? Yeah, it's only trading like 1 million shares a day now. I kind of feel like the options would be struggling. Anyone trade those? Recently, we got to mind the liquidity. That's for sure. Okay, what time is it? Oh, I got to go faster now. Sorry, guys. Let's get to the watch list. Carrier. I got to speed up. Carrier setting up. No, we did that one already. Caterpillar. Colgate Palmolive. Don't say it, you guys. I know. I'll wait. I'll trade it next time. CMG. Okay, CMG working its way into a potential buyable position. We said as long as it doesn't come all the way back here. Costco setting up, I think. Carvana. A lot of those. Remember the signal we said, number 3, the doji, the indecision, stabilization. We're seeing some of the stabilization showing up now. I want you to know that one of the reasons I went through that is because different stocks are showing different of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scenarios, right? The Dow is somewhere between 3 and 4. Fastenal, Fastenal is more of a 2, Miguel. Sorry, my friend. GBTC down. Gold's pulling back, but still looks bullish. General Motors possibly flagging, so we're keeping an eye on that. Google, I don't know. For Google, I think it went too far. I now see it as more of like likely to channel. It didn't give us a higher low, so right. Let's make sure we hold to our principles. Goldman came up new yesterday. That's a potential sitting on the 50, potentially moving soon. Home Depot retail getting close. So this is what I mean. Like, look at our watch list. I mean, these are not small unknown companies. These are the market. These are big, robust, liquid, good options. They're leaders. They're trending. They look bullish. They're pulling. Let's let this help give us perspective, right? If things are wrong, why is it not showing up on all these huge, enormous, beautiful companies we're watching? JP Morgan flagging, looks great. KBH Homes, it's got to slow down soon, but that's potential. Here's another new one, KKR. This is a regional bank, I believe. I could be wrong. I might be making that up. Regional bank, setting up, pulling back. We've got plenty to look at. Coca-Cola overextended, nice bullish move. MasterCard, add that with AXP, but it's overextended, needs a pullback. Mickey Donald's, that's looking like the sellers didn't do much, and they're starting to lose control. I smell a couple more signals and alerts coming our way. Meta. Okay, so I want you to notice that the trade never really materialized, which means all of these knot lines would need to be redrawn, right? I have like these trade lines. So I'm going to remove, I want to remove these drawings. I'm still going to leave that one there because clearly that's going to be an important line. Why can't I see remove drawing? There it is. But now we would restart and we would say, okay, now what? And now if we put a trade on down here, we might use this as a take profit and this as a primary. Great. Be water, my friends. MMM, possibly flagging. Yeah. Morgan Stanley. I like Goldman better, actually, I think, right now than Morgan. Microsoft. It's still a higher low, but it needs to stabilize for sure. Micron. Chips got battered a little bit yesterday. We'll see what happens there. Here's a new one, NDAQ. This is the NASDAQ index. That looks bullish. Netflix is stabilizing. NVIDIA is maybe stabilizing here. Here's another one, Progressive, overextended. PLTR, flagging. Hammering. Oh, I don't love it, but if it can get back in this range, this is why I'm glad I don't use intraday stops in the morning, right? I don't want to get picked off. I think we could easily see this move back into this range. But if it starts to hang out underneath this level, I'm going to have to shut it down. I'm going to give it a little bit of flexibility. QQQ holding up. RKT, Rocket Companies. I'll tell you what. I don't love trading companies that I haven't watched for a while. This just showed up yesterday, but man, this is turning into a signal on day one. Am I wrong? We want to see more of the day. Obviously, we're only 25 minutes in, but that's got some teeth to it. RTX, another new one from yesterday, defensive out of the industrial. Nice strong stock pulling back. So I'm going to go in and update the watch list in the resources so that you can go make sure that you have everything. If you want to go in there later today, that should be done. I'll put an announcement when I've updated it. I'll announce that so everyone knows. TSM. I hadn't updated it for a while because we hadn't made many changes, but we added about 12 things yesterday. And you can go watch what we found and why in the intermediate session of yesterday's Trading Foundations. TSM, trying to stabilize. UNP, also new, but it's overextended. USB, US Bank Corp, also new, but extended. UUP, the dollar, still in a good position. The VIX is coming back down, so we would like to see it come down to help our trades. But how it comes down is going to be important. That would be problematic. So if it comes down like this and comes through, then we're fine. All bets are off, and we're back to something along those lines. Walmart, overextended, still strong. Okay, this week, don't forget, you are working on risk management. You're working on risk management. If it's your first pass, you need at least these three. We're going to spend at least 15 to 20 minutes on Thursday talking about this. Michael says, preferred engine was Cummins. Michael, I heard something that Cat is making trucks again now soon. Did you hear that? Or did you tell me that? Someone told me that Caterpillar is like moving back into, or no, not trucks, pickup trucks. Is that what it is? Pickup trucks? Caterpillar's getting into something. I don't know if it's semis or pickups. That'd be pretty cool if Caterpillar made a pickup truck. I feel like people would be like, yeah, I'll look into that. I don't know. Needing help with the plan. Love it. Well, that is what we're going to do then. Make sure you hold me to it, because sometimes when we get into those working sessions, I just get like, oh, let's talk about trading and blah, blah, blah. And then that's the point of it. So pickup trucks, Bob said. Rumors trying to make zero emissions without using DEF. Okay. Well, let's make sure we keep our ear to the ground on that. That could be something that moves the needle. Listen, it's great to see everybody. I hope we're all feeling better than when we started, more in control than when we started. It's a long day, that we know. Expect it to ebb and flow, and then by the end of the day, we'll see where we're at. Remember, Glenn will be on the last hour of the market to chat through some things. And then he and I will both be on tomorrow evening with the Trading Foundations. Great to see everybody. Enjoy your day. Let's continue the conversation in chat throughout the day. I'll be on here or there. Other than that, happy trading. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm trying to see where Jeff is. Catherine, did Jeff reach? Oh, there you are, Jeff. Hey, ignore my message.
No worries.
I'm. I didn't invite the whole team just because I know everybody has so many meetings. But Celine is here today to Friday, and then she's out next week. And Andrea comes back from vacation, so we're wanting to move forward on managing your RRSP. So I'm going to record so Andrea can watch this when she comes back, and then Celine will get done whatever she can get done before she goes. But Jeff, I know we didn't have time yesterday when we met to walk through anything, so I was wondering if you could kind of walk through the LOFIs with Celine and do a design to this handoff.
Sure thing. And I still have to meet with Catherine about this as well, so we can go ahead and get that started after this. But go ahead and share. Right, I'm going to try to follow along the script as well, just to make sure, because I know, like I said yesterday, we sort of tag teamed this the other day, Miriam and I, so there may be some discrepancies here and there in the script and what's here. I'm going to review the entire thing, but yeah, let's just get started. So, getting started, first page here, managing your registered retirement savings plan. Pretty straightforward. This is something we've done before. The very next one, I have to put in the icons here, but this is an icon list, and this just goes over the importance of managing your RSPs. So we have these 4 items, and then the content within. And the next page, page 3 here, is the cards with drop-down selection. So this is another pattern we've used before. This just has sort of a little brief description here and quick little Q&A section. So each one of those is going to have 2 answers with a positive and negative. I have these currently set up as neutral feedback. 1, 2, 3, and 4 questions there. Page 5. This is tabs. This is just 2 items, standard plans, self-directed plans. We have both of those tabs. And then under 5. This is one that we may need to talk through. I think it's going to work a lot better the way Miriam has it laid out in the script. So I do have to update this, but effectively each one of these is going to have sort of a bolded section that will say whether it's easy, more complicated, low, high, and on the second line, so these properly formatted, it looks something like that. Each one of those line items. Page 6, this is our first assessment. This is just 3 options with the feedback for each one of those. Again, neutral feedback.
Can I ask a question? 3 of them are saying grades, or it is just a placeholder? I mean, the all answers are correct, or all should be neutral for the feedbacks, I mean.
So they're saying great because these are not like a correct or incorrect. This is just sort of asking the user to describe themselves. So either beginner,
Okay,
intermediate,
so
or
you
expert.
will use neutral feedback. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Correct. Right. 7, we have another tab set up here. So we have risk tolerance, marking conditions. Just those 2 items. Page 8, we have a carousel. So this is going to be, I need to change those, I believe. Sure, it's just 3 items. So I'll go ahead and change that pagination. So we just have 1, 2, and 3. And that is pretty much it. That brings us to our key points and our next steps. Key points 1 through 3. And then next steps, again, I have to update each one of these items. But that should be it. So it's a very short and straightforward lesson. I'll go ahead and later today leave notes and everything, and I obviously Catherine, I can meet with you about this, but yeah, was there any questions in terms of the build aside from what we already addressed?
Thank you so much for that. One more question. For key points and next steps illustrations, should we use the new ones, right? Not these old ones.
Correct.
Okay, okay. Then no question. Thank you.
Jeff,
Yeah.
do you also have to reach out to Alex too? Are there any photos in here?
I don't believe there will be. The first might be the getting started page, but that would be
Okay.
it.
Oh, good.
Let me just review. But
Okay.
yeah, aside from that, I think that we have such a low lift for illustrations. I don't think it should be too much work. I don't want to speak for design, but
That works out really well because Madeline said there are 18 photos she needs for her modules. So if there's not as many of this, that's awesome, I think, for Alex.
yeah, I think we should be fine there. We just have a couple avatars, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. You can throw a Lottie in there since it's a lighter load to make sure that we get some motion. Probably throw that on page 2 or something. So we'll try to figure that one out here in a minute, but other than that, I think that's about it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
Anyone,
of course.
anyone have any questions? Okay. Well, like those quick short meetings. Thank you everybody, and we will. Oh, Jeff, do you have the link to the Figma in the ticket? I'll reach out if I can't find it.
I will go ahead and just drop it in now.
Okay. Thank you.
Everybody.
Okay. Thanks everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you.
That's all.
Thanks,
Bye.
bye.
Thank you.
This is a reminder. looked at your note too today. I was going over there and making sure. I'm curious on the timelines, but I think you have the tickets correct, Julie.
Yep, I do.
Yeah.
And we're also gonna look at the timelines right now, because I have a question for Madeline. Yeah. Hey.
Hi, certainly.
Oh, no worries. I don't want to keep you guys long. Madeline, I just wanted to schedule a couple of check-ins with you because I know that you were concerned a little bit about the wireframe walkthrough. And the four of us are talking right now, and then I scheduled like a quick 15-minute call with Allie tomorrow. She's the account manager, just, so we could touch base and you guys, make sure everybody is thinking the same. But I wanted to ask you, so with holistic financial planning, and I know we chatted a little bit about this yesterday, the lo-fi build completed before Andrea went on vacation, and I know, I'm pretty sure I think Madeline, you closed your hi-fi tickets, so I believe you have everything except maybe one animation, and
Yeah, that's right. I think everything is updated, is set in Figma besides the last Lottie or two that are being worked on.
okay. So I think that we may be able, so Andrea doesn't get back to Monday, but that's also when our meeting is. So I think we may be able to ask Carlos to pop